You do roll call?
Absolutely. Supervisor Kowal,
Here.
I got a call from Trustee Anderson asking to be excused
Okay.
later this afternoon, or right around
Thank you.
2-ish. And I'll start with roll call. Trustee Voorhees,
Present.
Treasurer Roman, Treasurer,
Here.
Supervisor
Attorney
Kowal,
was interrupting me, I'm sorry.
Clerk Noble here. Trustee Smith.
Here.
Trustee Ruggles.
Here.
Can I make a motion to excuse Trustee Anderson?
I just did.
Oh,
You did. You definitely were blocked by the attorney.
Did you vote on it?
No, he just said he's making a note
I
of
just
it.
made a note of it.
Just
You're supposed to
noted it.
vote on it.
supposed to vote on it.
That he's
Sure.
excused?
Yeah.
Have we
Well,
ever?
I
I
voted on
don't
it
think we've
before.
ever done
I
that.
don't think anyone supported that.
I don't know why he's excused.
I'd like to
I wouldn't
make
be
a
able
motion
vote.
to excuse Trustee Anderson.
I'll support that.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay.
I'm going to abstain.
All right.
Sustain.
I'm looking, any questions on
Trustee
the?
Smith sustains.
Okay. Any comment on the agenda? If not, I'm looking for a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I have a motion to approve the agenda as submitted. Looking for support. I have support from Mr. Ruggles. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Next item, public comment. You'll have 3 minutes to state your case. You do have to identify yourself for the recorder, and it will be 3 minutes. And for those, just raise your hand, identify if you care to speak, and I'll call you up to the podium. Any takers at this time? This gentleman on the end.
We're both together.
Oh, okay,
I'm gonna speak and he's gonna speak.
okay.
Good evening, everyone. A lot of you know me. I'm Peter Pincinato, 877 1000 Drive. I know I haven't been around for a while, but this will kind of explain it. What I want to talk about is Kelly from Rick's office called me a couple weeks ago, and I gave her some brochures about a group that we're working with, St. Joseph Helpers. And so I came in and delivered them, but she wasn't there. I gave them to Rick, and Rick asked me to come in and talk to the board about this organization. I got 7 pamphlets, so I'll try to distribute them of what
Thanks,
this
Pete.
organization does. Dennis and I and a number of other people are really volunteers for this
Thank you.
organization. We go out.
Sean, give him a
Sean,
shot.
you want the Sean?
Thank you.
And we go out and we do jobs for people that need help. We put in rails, grab bars, we put in smoke detectors. We'll do all sorts of little jobs that we can. The St. Joseph Helpers, the organization, gets a lot of this stuff donated to them. The people are not asked to really give money. They can donate money afterwards. But we do these jobs because they normally can't get any help to do these small jobs or whatever for them. But so the reason I'm coming here to talk is a lot of the jobs that we've been doing, Dennis and I, and there's about 3 or 4 out here in White Lake. Most of the jobs we do are in Detroit, Canton, Redford Township, areas like that. We've been trying to get jobs brought out to Oakland County. We know there are people that probably need our services, need our help, but that's why I'm over here to the board. Maybe you have an organization, a church group. A lot of these people find out about us through the church that they attend, or they'll call a senior center or something like that to find out about us. But it's really, they call in, they tell them what they need done. There's a case that gets loaded onto their website. Dennis and I or whatever will go in, look at the case, look at where it's at first off, because some of them go at the end of Northville Township, and that's a whole long drive out there to get out there to do some of these jobs, and to find out that when we get there, we don't have the right parts, or we just can't do this work, because we're licensed by St. Joseph to cover but we're not licensed electricians, we're not licensed plumbers. If the job gets to be like that, St. Joseph does have a way to they have people that they can contact that are licensed that can work with these people. But so what we're trying to do is I'm trying to get this organization, maybe we could branch out somewhere in the Oakland County area. And knowing you folks, you probably got organizations that would be willing to take this kind of, get on this help, to do this kind of work. I don't know if you got any questions about what we do, but all of our time is volunteer. Dennis and I, we go out, so all day, we'll sit out there, we drive all over the place. We don't get paid for gas. We don't get paid for our time. This is all volunteer work that we do. And a lot of times we have to go out and buy some of our own tools because when we learn about a job, we don't have those. And so we buy what we need. So a lot of it is just because we like doing it.
My hat goes off to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a question though, Pete.
Go ahead, Andrea.
I plan to pass this on to our minister because a lot of people do call I'm a White Lake Presbyterianer. So I plan to pass it on to her. But do you do mobile homes at all?
It depends on the repair.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, well, grab bars definitely will not do a mobile home. We looked at those. The walls are too thin to put grab bars into things like
So
that.
it's all about the-
Other things, we maybe put a smoke detector in, change a receptacle, things like that.
In the mobile homes, it's more the situation.
Yeah.
It just depends on the type of repair. And again,
Absolutely,
these are
okay.
Small repairs we're doing,
Okay.
like a wheelchair ramp, sure, we could do that. Smoke detectors, sure, we do that. But as Pete mentioned, grab bars and the walls, which mobile homes are constructed totally different than a house.
You cannot hear a word you're saying, so if you can come up.
We do ramps. We do ramps
Okay.
for people. In fact, this past winter, we did one that was 5 aluminum sections for this young lady that got shot in the back, was completely paralyzed. And we spent 5 guys out there the whole day in the worst day of the winter putting this ramp together. But at the end of the day, Ma's crying because her daughter can now go down the ramp and doesn't have to be carried down the stairs. So I feel so blessed by being able to do this kind of work.
Well, we appreciate that, and we're definitely going to pass the word around.
Thank you.
So Dennis Latang, 8774 Townsend Drive. As Pete mentioned, I'm a volunteer with St. Joseph's. I'm also on the board of directors with the organization. Pete mentioned, the repairs that we do, mostly targeting the elderly, disabled, veterans, but it can be anybody. They don't have to have a disability or anything to contact St. Joseph's. We will serve those that we can. A new component of that I want to bring up here is something that's called Julie's List. This has been around since 2011. It's more for the social worker side of things where people, maybe they've been, had surgery and now they need a wheelchair for limited time. They can't afford it. Their insurance company doesn't pay for it. They don't know who to turn to. They can contact St. Joseph's Helpers, and through this list, which is statewide, it's not just county, they will walk you through the process of getting in touch with the right people to help you with some of these things. Or maybe you have somebody who's been diagnosed with dementia, Alzheimer's or something, and you're looking for some resources to help you. They are a contact. Recently, a gentleman in Pontiac, his furnace was shot. He could not afford one. They were able to walk him through a process through the state of Michigan and were able to give him a new furnace. So this is just a resource, again, for more on the social service side that's also part of this, as well as the physical repairs that we go out to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Those are huge steps to help
We just want to get the
people.
word out. Maybe that's what we're here for. There's a website, great organizations.
Yeah, when,
If I may, for 1 second, if you want to connect with the fire department, they have built ramps in the past. And then, of course, our senior center Meals on Wheels would probably have a good list of folks that need help. And then I think there's still Rake the Block around. And a few years ago, I recruited Chief Keller to go with me and rake some yards in White Lake. Do you remember that? And Jackie lives in White Lake, and she probably would be a good one to connect with too, knowing of White Lake residents that might need some minor home repairs. Okay, thank you so much for what you're doing.
thank
you.
you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other takers? Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jim Cups, 8985 Cooley Lake Road. I'm here because I heard about the money that was lost, sending it, is this true that there was millions of dollars lost, sending it by internet, whatever?
It's public comment. I really can't start a debate and a conversation on this.
Okay, have we called anybody to do an investigation on the people
Believe me,
involved, or?
It's being taken care of.
Okay, do you know,
To answer your question, sir, we have our chief of police who's sitting here tonight. Who got
Okay,
Homeland
what about it-
Security involved, and it's
what
under
about
pending-
agencies like FBI or
Yep,
anything else?
It's under pending investigation. We can't comment on it.
Okay, that was my concern, because I read today, then, should we raise taxes? And
That's not accurate.
that was on the agenda.
We have some
That's
public
totally-
statements.
Okay, excuse me.
Just
The board
direct
is
them to
out of
the
order
website.
here. Excuse me.
Right.
I am the chair. Sir, if you have questions, I would really recommend that you call my office. I'd be happy to sit down and talk to you about that. And as far as the other items on the agenda, there'll be areas in time when it
Okay.
comes to the resolutions that you'll be able to.
And we'll know more about this, the loss that supposedly took place?
Yes.
Rick,
Okay.
I was just going to direct them to our website.
Yeah.
There's
Well-
information there.
Are the assessors here today, so he'll take
No,
care of
our
a lot.
public statement on the website.
I'm sorry, Trustee Smith. Trustee Smith was referring to the statement that was put out about the matter. It's on our website. I apologize for that.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make sure that this is public comment. That's all it is. We have interaction when the items come up for resolution, things like that. We often ask the public, but not in public comment. Any other public comment at this time? In the red, sir.
Good evening. My name is Reed Claft with Red Ball Sanitation, Howell Waste Solutions. I'm here to comment on the recent trash contract. It was just signed after hearing about the decision the township made to go with Priority Waste through a YouTube video. I was disappointed that Red Ball Sanitation was not even considered for the work. We were not contacted with any questions about our company or plans to provide great service for the township of White Lake. The only contact we had was when we reached out to Trish, asked about our next steps. The decision to sign a 7-year contract with a company that's currently failing service with their current contracts on the east side could result in some hardships for your residents. Many communities are looking to take back over trash service because of all the issues they're having with Priority Waste. The toughest part about hearing that we were not awarded the work was in fact that we were indeed the low bidder and would have saved the taxpayers about $40,000 in the first year. If Priority continues on the same path and fails to provide good service, remember that you can reach out, Red Ball Sanitation, be there to support the needs of the community with great service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I saw another hand up there. Yes, sir.
Walt Rickens, 10205 Lakeside Drive. I'm here to address, over the last couple of years, several members of our community have stopped into the township offices to ask about the viability of pickleball courts. A little on the lighter side than what everybody else is talking about, but near and dear to my heart anyway. So I'm curious as to if there's any, I've heard a lot of rumors going on, and I guess my mission here is just to implore the township, if they're gonna do something with township parks, whether it's courts, basketball, tennis, pickleball, softball fields, whatever, that they do it the right way. The rumors that we've heard are a mixed-use court, it'll have maybe a couple pickleball courts, tennis, basketball hoops. That's just not, nobody's gonna show up to play pickleball. And at this point, it's not just seniors that are playing pickleball in the township. We've got a group, the Oxbow Lake Pickleball Club. We have 24 members. We play every Monday night, but we have to travel over to Highland or Commerce or West Bloomfield to find courts that we can play on. And then, of course, that's where we spend our money afterwards because we're there. So we stop for dinner, drinks, whatever. So anyway, and the other thing, I'd like to just volunteer my help. I've been playing pickleball for probably a dozen years now. I was in business for myself in Highland Township for years. I would be more than happy to volunteer on any committees, do any legwork. I've actually already talked to the Commerce Township Park and Recreation Director to find out what their 8 courts at the Richardson Center cost. The pickleball courts themselves, not all the other improvements they did, were about $350,000 for 8 courts. I've also contacted Oakland County Park and Rec and found out that there is some grant money available, matching grant money, not just free money, but up to as much as $100,000 in some instances. So
Thank you.
Anyway, just here to employ, to listen to us and try to get us involved.
Yeah.
Can you repeat your name, please?
Walter Rickens?
Thank you.
Walter,
Rickens, Rickens.
I'm your biggest advocate here.
Oh, good. Well, you know what? The funny thing is, people think it's just for
No,
seniors.
this is a team effort.
It's not just seniors anymore.
Right.
The fastest growing population is actually under 40 at this point. I'm constantly playing with young
can you
guys.
contact my office, please?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else at this time? Okay, seeing none, I'm closing public comment. Moving on to consent agenda. Consent agenda is a list of revenue expenses, checks, and all the department reports, and business as such. Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Looking for support?
Support.
I have motion from Mr. Noble and support from Trustee Smith. All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. Minutes, 7A and 7B, the minutes of the special board meeting of July 10th, 2025, and approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of July 15th, 2025. Any questions or comments at this time?
I'll make a motion to approve both minutes from July 10th and July 15th board meetings.
Motion to approve, looking for support?
Support.
I'm going to give that to Andrea down
Yeah, no
there.
support, okay? I didn't
Andrea
hear-
gets the support. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Thank you. Next few items are public hearings. Public hearings are just that. That's to hear whatever your comments are. It's not public interaction. Under the statute, public hearing is a public hearing. The board is not supposed to speak to you during that point in time. When the resolution comes forward, oftentimes if there's somebody out there that has a question on or something, that's when we'll address it. But the public hearing has a format that we have to follow by statute, and I will go into that. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to hear public comment and establishment and improvement of the project for Manna Lake Weed Control and Management 2026 through 3030. That is in the form of a motion. Looking for support.
Support.
I have support from Mr. Roman. Roll call vote.
Supervisor Kowal,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles,
Yes.
Treasurer Roman,
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees,
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes.
Okay, we are now in public hearing to hear comment on the establishment of the improvement project for Manna Lake Weed Control and Control and Lake Management 2026 through 2030. Any comment from anyone from Manna Lake? Seeing none, I will close public comment. I'll make a motion to close.
Support.
I have motion, I have support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, close. Item B, to hear public comment on the establishment of the improvement project for Sunset Taylor Road Maintenance Special Assessment District 2026-2030. That's in the form of a motion. Looking for support.
Support.
I have support from Mr. Roman. Roll call vote.
Supervisor Kowal,
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes. Treasurer Roman,
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees.
Yes.
Okay. We are now in public comment to hear comments on the establishment of the improvement project for Sunset Taylor Road Maintenance Special Assessment District 2026 through 2030. Any takers? Seeing none, making a motion to close public hearing. Looking for support? I have support from Mr. Roman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next item, to hear public comment on the establishment of Special Assessment District Notice Emergency Sewer Connections 2025-01. That's in the form of a motion. Looking for support?
Support.
I have support from Trustee Voorhees. Roll call vote.
Supervisor Kowal,
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles,
Yes.
Trustee Smith,
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees,
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes. Treasurer Roman.
Yes.
Okay, we are now in public comment to establish a Special Assessment District known as Emergency Sewer Connection 2025-01. Any comments on that? Seeing none, closing public comment on the establishment of Special Assessment District known as Emergency Sewer Connections. That's a motion. Looking for support.
Support.
I have motion support from Mr. Roman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next item, to hear public comment on increasing property taxes due to increased property values, truth in taxation. I'm making that in the form of a motion. Look for support.
Support.
I have support from Mr. Noble. Roll call vote.
Clerk Noble, yes. Supervisor Kowal.
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees,
Yes.
Treasurer Roman,
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles,
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Okay. At this time, if there's anyone from the public that wants to make a comment on this, but again, you can comment now and I'll write a question down. And then when it comes to the resolution, we can try to get you the answer, a satisfactory answer for that particular question. So, sir, you need to come forward.
Can I make just one brief comment? This is the opportunity to place your objection on the record if this is what you want to do. This is the opportunity to protest. I just wanted to make sure, we keep saying it's public comment, but it is also that opportunity.
Jim Cups, 8985 Cooley Lake Road. It's White Lake Township. Question, you're raising the taxes and all that. Is there any talk about, like right now, we have our new president saying 62, 65 years old, he's gonna stop the taxes on, and I have a place in Florida too, where they're ending taxes on people over 65. This is what you were talking about, right, the taxes?
Property taxes.
Right, that's what okay. That's where we pay our money to. So I was questioning whether we are starting to lean that way, because every year we talk about raised tax. In fact, I know the house market has dropped, according to real estate people. I don't know about people here, but I know real estate people tell us that the stock market, the house values have been going down, and because of interest rates and everything else. So I just wondered if we're talking about raising taxes every year, thinking about maybe cutting taxes. So,
David is paying attention. Okay, so
I
our
hope so.
assessor's here, so.
I hope so, because
Yeah.
when I throw off the $5 million, I don't even know what it was,
Yeah.
but I didn't like that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hi, Eric Evidesian, 2300 Kingston. I had a question. I guess I was a little confused as far as the breakdown on the mills, and that's what I was hoping to get some explanation. Are we actually having an increase in the mills, or are we having a decrease in the mills? I understand that our assessed value goes up every year, and we're capped at a 5% increase, and for those of us that have bought 10 years ago, we have 10 years to catch up and increase property values since COVID. My question is, are we actually increasing the millage? I inquired on our little group, but couldn't get an answer. And I wasn't able to actually look at the old taxes.
We'll address that question.
But sir, you might want to look at this before we circle back to answer questions.
That might help you. You can take it back. Read it.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
My name's Tracy McDonald, 9050 Pontiac Lake Road. I am totally opposed to any new property taxes or raises. It seems like every time there is a new, I just noticed now that there is a tax for OCC. I've been paying school taxes for 40-something years in White Lake Township, and I've never gone to a school here. And on top of that, I live on the lake, so that's $1,000 a year assessment just for living on the lake that I use 4 or 5 times a year. And I'm 66. I'm never going to get a increase in pay, and I would kind of like to stay where I'm living. And my house value has gone up, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's great. You're making good money." But if I sell it, I'm just going to have to spend that money on a new house, and then I'm in an even higher tax. And I just hope someday it stops. And the other thing is I have 2 kids, and they're never going to be able to afford not only a house, but even paying property tax. It's with what they're making. So no new taxes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I agree.
Andrea Limbright, 5347 Woodland, White Lake. At this time, I would like to express my current objection because when I was reading about ad valorem taxes, it says that the millage rate is set by the local government, whereas I don't know what that would be. It also, the operating millage, I believe, is based on the operational needs and budget constraints of local government. I'm not sure that the ad valorem would be, but that's maybe questions that I have about it that I would need more clarification. I also was worried about the fact that it says ad valorem taxes can be increased 15 mils a year versus the 5% or less annual that our like property taxes can be increased from what I was reading. Again, this is just, I kind of threw this together trying to just figure all this out with your letter that you sent out. So Those are currently my objections, is that I don't want to have a 15 mil potential increase every year allowed, because that's what the Hadley leaves for those. So at this point, I'm just saying I would prefer not to have this, because I don't think it's favorable to the residents here.
Thank you.
First and last name again, please? Andrea Lambright.
Any other one? Anybody else? We're gonna address all those here, but not quite yet. Okay. All right. Seeing no other takers, I make a motion to close the public hearing on the comments.
Real quick. She mentioned a letter. Was there a letter sent out?
As far as,
The letter was sent out.
Sorry, I meant to say, I saw a Facebook post where it talked about this particular.
It's at our board packet, and we passed it to the gentleman in the black shirt, if you want to read it, Pete.
Oh, no, this right here.
Yep.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah.
I think that the topic is misleading, because you got to read the body.
yeah, you have to read the body, but unfortunately, we're required by statute to publish
Yeah.
certain things the way that they are. We don't have a
I was
choice.
wondering about the letter that went out. I didn't get no letter,
Yeah,
so.
It took an act of Congress
There
for
was
me to
no
get it
letter,
in bold
Pete.
print. Okay, that's okay, that's okay. They're all good questions. Okay, I am, though, at this moment in time, going to close the public hearing on comment increasing property taxes due to the increased property values, truth, and taxation. As in the form of a motion, looking for support?
Support.
I have a motion for myself, support for Mr. Roman, all in favor? Aye. Okay. We're going to get to the resolutions here in a couple minutes, you just have to hang on. Okay, Resolution 24014 to approve Oakland County Clemens interlocal agreement. Chief, you have some things you want to share with everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Quickly, I'd like to introduce Bo Chang, who's in charge of Clemens. And after I give a brief synopsis of what happened, he's going to add a few things. So Clemens stands for Courts and Law Enforcement Management Information System. It's been around for about 50 years. We've been part of it since longer than I've been here. Some of the things they provide is CAD, which is computer-aided dispatch, which all our dispatchers use. And in the dispatch area, there's mugshot, geo management system, and then the report writing and data entry system that all police officers use are ran through Clemens. Just a few references for Clemens. It's in 242 agencies, 11 counties, and it covers a third of Michigan's population. There are approximately 50 million person records and 111 million searchable addresses. And just for some context, 34 of the 50 safest cities are members of Clemens. I became the chair of the Clemens Advisory Board, I would say about 3 years ago. And as I became the advisory board chairman, they did a feasibility study on the impact Clemens is having in the local government regarding Oakland County. And it turns out that it was costing Oakland County several $1 million to keep it running in addition to what the end users pay. So in that feasibility study, they mentioned getting it away from Oakland County as a department and moving into an authority, which will branch out and allow us to keep the fees the same by branching out and getting more users. And I'm going to let Bo speak on that portion of it.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you, Chief Keller, for that information. So Clemens has been around since 1968, so about 57 years, and it's been keeping Oakland County and its residents safe with computer systems for law enforcement as well as fire, and obviously our county sheriffs use it. Since then, Clemens has expanded, as Chief Keller mentioned, into about 10, 11 counties surrounding the community, again, providing the same systems, CAD, records management system for report writing, jail management systems, and et cetera. However, the challenge that we have right now is the current system. It is quite dated. It's about 15 years long in the tooth, and we have to modernize. This infrastructure that we have in the county today, with being a 15-year-old technology, it is costing a lot of money for the county. So by moving into an authority, we are going to be asking the county for a $10 million investment to modernize the platform and the system first and foremost, to get our officers into the 21st century of technology. So getting us into the cloud, having our officers be able to use mobile applications, and that's going to save us a significant amount of money by doing that process from an operating support. And also on an ongoing basis, the value of the data sharing is extremely valuable to agencies in solving crime, helping to prevent crime. And obviously, the more agencies we have onto the platform, it allows us to share more data within local law enforcement, as well as also helps us reduce the cost. And that's really critical for us because if we don't expand the Columbus footprint beyond Southeast Michigan today, then the only way for us to increase the fees is obviously within the current members. So the more members that we're able to bring on into the network, the better data sharing is for police and law enforcement, as well as the ability for us to maintain costs. And if you look at the system that we have today, we are at least 1/3 of the cost for comparable systems if you're going outside of the Columbus network. So we know it's extremely valuable from a technology perspective, extremely valuable for public safety, as well as extremely valuable from an economic side. So we're moving to the authority to basically have an independent governance in that structure to help us expand, as well as to modernize the platform. So I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
I know Columbus I'm not totally familiar with, although I have associates that have dealt with it on a daily basis. So I know that it is a very useful tool in the box. And the simple fact that it's turning into an authority, I think is going to be better for its existence because it's going to be able to pan out to a much broader basin.
Correct.
How many counties in Southeast Michigan does Columbus? We had that conversation today.
Yeah, about 10 counties.
Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, Marshall.
Yeah, Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, Livingston County, Lenawee County Sheriff's Office. We're also in Genesee County, and hopefully 2 additional counties that we're expanding into soon as well. So we're definitely growing the footprint for Columbus.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
No, being a retired police officer, Columbus is invaluable to solving crimes, to, being able to search addresses for missing people such as that. And Chief, we spoke about it earlier, that Columbus wasn't being funded properly in the past, correct me if I'm wrong. And by moving to this authority, it gives you more larger, broader space to be able to fund that and futurely fund the program that's self-sufficient. Kind of takes it away and kind of makes it your own.
Correct. Yeah,
entity.
we are focused on public safety.
You do an excellent job, by the way. There are a lot of compliments about you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Any questions from the board?
I just have a benign question for Lisa, actually. In here, it says the township can withdraw with 6 months' notice. Is just for any reason?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the
Chief?
time.
Anything else to add?
No, that's all I had. If you could just approve the resolution, that would be great. Thank you.
So this resolution is putting us in a sense, a partnership with Columbus as part of the authority.
Correct.
So I just want everybody to understand.
It changes the partnership from Columbus to the authority.
Correct.
Which was controlled by Oakland County direct or no?
Correct.
So it kind of takes it out of the hands of the county and
makes
puts
it
it into the
independent.
authority, which makes it better for the citizens
Yes, it
as a
does.
whole.
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So in the long run, what you're saying is we're going to save money down the road by doing this.
Yes, absolutely.
And in your career, Chief, could you imagine not having Columbus available?
No, I don't. So I don't know anything different, but when I go to conferences, national conferences, and I talk about Columbus to other police chiefs, they're like, we need that. Like, I want that. I wish I was closer to you so I could join Columbus and now the authority. It is.
You probably can remember specific cases that are outstanding in your mind about how we've used Columbus.
Not right now, but it's just a broad system that we can plug in a name and approximate, a partial name and an approximate age, and we can pull up information to find individuals that we need to speak to. It's really, it is one of the reasons why White Lake is the 15th safest city in the nation and the safest city in Michigan.
One more question.
Sure.
Do our flock camera systems that we purchased, which is an incredible investment, if you ask me, from, makes us the safest community, helps make us the safest community in the state. Does it integrate with Clemens? Does it?
It's a completely separate system.
Separate.
From what Clemens does.
Okay.
Yep.
There was a question behind you, Pete. No, you.
Oh, so one quick question. So the authority moves away from Oakland, it's going to be moved away from Oakland County. Who does it fall under then?
It's under, it doesn't fall under Oakland County direct. It falls, it is, I want to say it was managed properly, it was managed by the county executive.
Okay, so your authority manages itself then?
Correct.
Okay, but who?
Under the auspice of the county executive.
Okay, under Dave Coulter will be overseeing that organization?
Well, there's an executive board that will assist in overseeing
I was
it.
just curious.
Yes.
So basically, they're moving from direct to their own entity is what he's
Direct,
trying
yes.
to tell you.
Yeah, then
So
a
which
bunch
is,
of people look over
which is a good thing
For
as far as law
long-term.
enforcement.
Okay. All right.
I'd like to make a motion,
Yes.
Mr. Supervisor.
Thanks,
to,
Chief.
Approve resolution 25-014 to approve Oakland County Clemens into an interlocal agreement pending review, which our attorney already did, I'm sure.
I will support that. I have a motion, we have motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thanks, Chief. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming out tonight.
Thanks for coming out. Okay, we have a resolution 25025 determining to undertake an improvement project and establish and maintain a special assessment district to pay costs associated therewith, approving the plans and estimated costs, therefore to be known as the Mandan Lake Weed Control and Lake Improvement 2026 through 2030. Any questions from the board? Other than that, a motion, please.
Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 25-025.
I have a motion to approve Resolution 25-025 from Mr. Ruggles. I have support from Trustee Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Motion carries. Resolution 25-026, determining to undertake improvement project to establish and maintain a special assessment district to pay costs associated therewith, approving the plans and estimates of costs therefore to be known as the Sunset Taylor Road Maintenance 2026 through 2030. That is in the form of a motion. Looking for support?
Support.
I have support from Mr. Noble. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Resolution 25027 to establish and maintain a special assessment district to pay costs associated therewith, approved plans and estimates of costs therefore to be known as emergency sewer connections 2025-01. Looking for a motion?
Motion to approve Resolution 25-027, the emergency sewer system.
I have
Support that.
a motion and I have support from Andrew Voorhees. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next item, pending answering your questions. David?
Okay.
You might want to come up to the podium.
Okay, I can do that.
It might be a lot easier.
Let's see what I need. Do you want to pull the notice that's required? Okay, every taxing authority in Michigan has to have a hearing or approval of their tax rates. In White Lake Township, the last few years, we've done it during a budget hearing, which we're required to notice that with specific language that says that the millage that being discussed at the meeting is going to support the budget that's being talked about. We've noticed that public hearing every year since I've been here, so the last 3 years. This year, due to the township switching over to BSNA Cloud, we don't have a draft budget to talk about and to do it during a budget hearing. So we're required to notice it in the General Property Tax Act as a truth and tax hearing. Sean put up the form that's required to be used and some of the language that's required to be used. It's required to put notice of public hearing on increasing property taxes. That's required to be in there. The font size is required. It's specific that we have to do that. Now, we did go on to try to further explain it within the notice that it's due to increasing property values. We're proposing a reduction in the millage from 10.1536 last year to 10.0818. So there's no millage increase that you're even considering tonight. In fact, this board doesn't have the the legal authority to increase the tax rate. That would have to be from the vote of the people. So one of the comments was about the 15 mills, and some of those laws I'd have to read up on, but those would be with voter approval to go up that high. So this board can't increase millages by its own motion tonight or any other night. So that would have to go, you could pass a resolution to put something on the ballot for the voters to decide, but that's the only way that you would get involved with, raising a millage, if you will. So we've noticed this, and we are increasing, the township will realize added revenue this year due to property taxes, even with a lower millage rate. So property values go up. They're capped under Proposal A this past year at 3.1%, but we have new construction that gets added to the tax rolls where people make physical additions to their property, or houses that weren't there last year that are there this year. Culver's open today, I think, so that'll be going on the tax rolls as we move forward as well. So those are reasons that we have an increase in taxes. Ownership transfers from the prior year, the property becomes uncapped and they pay a higher tax as the new owner than what the prior owner had. So those are the reasons that we have to notice it this way. It is misleading, as the gentleman in the blue, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but it is misleading, but it's required. That's a state form that Sean has up on the screen. And, I had 3 calls prior to this meeting, and I think we had 5 people talking, including Steve. But some of the other questions, if you could help me with them.
Well, I think you answered the tax one. I want to make sure everybody's question gets answered.
I wrote some specific
Okay.
stuff down there. I want to take a minute.
Can you pause and just introduce yourself for the residents? and
Sure.
then
I'm
put a
Dave
name
Heber. I'm
and
the
a
township
face?
assessor.
Thank you.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
He knows who he is, so.
Right, but it helps our residents.
No,
know who's
it does.
talking. Yeah.
There's a gentleman that spoke about being on a lake, and like there's a lake-specific tax. I want to address that. There's not a specific lake tax. There's lake boards that they do improvements to the lake, that the people on the lake do pay those, and it is on the tax bill, but it's not the assessor saying there's a specific tax because you live on a lake. That's another public hearing process where those lake boards meet for annual assessments to do improvements to the lake. So that's outside of the township board. Even though the township board has members sit on the lake boards, that's through Oakland County and riparians on the lake, coming up with what.
That would be an SAD.
It'd be a special assessment, which is technically not a tax, it's a fee. So the one gentleman opposed the increased mills. That I think I've covered that. Talked about someone said the little group. I think that's the Facebook group, and it's unfortunate that it appears to have some misinformation. I didn't see the Facebook post, but a couple of people called me, and we did talk that through. As far as tax increases, the biggest tax increases that you've had as far as millage rates go are Oakland County Transit. I know Oakland County Parks had elections in the last couple of years that have raised millages and that we're all paying for as residents of Oakland County. There was a question about whether we're going to do anything for 62 to 65-year-olds to stop the increase of property taxes. This board has no authority to do that. That would have to be a law change at the state of Michigan and applied for all communities within the state. So you don't have the authority to make a different rate for someone based on age. The only thing the township board does is they do have hardship guidelines for people that are in poverty and can't afford to pay their taxes, and we have a process for that through the board of review. I don't know, did I miss anything? Does anyone?
Miss anything?
Other than, could you tell them? Could you tell them who our state legislator is going to be? Matt Maddox in the House of Representatives, and Jim Runstead is our state senator. So for the gentleman, I believe in the back, that's who you'd want to talk to about laws changing.
But the key point is that, I want to be clear that to you guys, to the board, I think you know this, and to all the residents, you can't raise millages on your own motion. It requires the vote of the people. Now, the product of property values and what we add is into aggregate of the assessment roll, that does increase taxes. And there was one I missed. Sean, can you put up Mr. Roman's pie chart?
I can.
On our website, the treasurer's office updates this annually, and it shows where your taxes go for each millage. We pay taxes in Oakland County, such things as the gentleman said, Oakland Community College, Huron-Clinton Metro Parks, the Detroit Zoo, the DIA, Transit.
A few feet away, I mean, I can.
The library has several millages on there for operating and for debt. You know, we have police and fire, obviously, we have general operating, and the township does levy a parks millage. But this is out here, this will show you where $1 of your taxes would be split up to who gets that portion of the pie. So I think that that's important to know. While the township sends out the bills and we collect the money, the overwhelming money that's collected, Treasurer Roman disperses to these other taxing authorities. So and every one of these communities have to have public hearings on their tax rates too. So I would encourage interested parties to go to the county and voice their concerns and go to their schools and address the school boards. Those are the biggest chunks of where our money goes, are those two entities.
And of that pie chart, if you look at that pie chart, if you can scroll that down at all, the very smallest sliver above the yellow, I think?
No.
I think.
No, that's library.
Yeah.
Above
The library's pretty big.
Two above the O, I'm sorry.
This little gray area
Yeah,
is our general fund
that's
tax
general
revenue.
fund. That,
Where the library is?
Right under the gray.
Purple, this purple sliver,
That's why you vote no.
excuse me.
And yellow.
It's the yellow is their millage, the purple is their debt.
Oh.
And again, this is available on the White Lake Township website. Just go to the treasurer's office. I think it's labeled where your property taxes, you know, are.
where your money goes.
I think that's something very close to that. Or any questions, feel free to call the assessing department or the treasurer department. We can walk you right to it.
Yes, sir, you had a question.
Okay, come up here.
You're gonna
Okay,
have
come up here.
to, you're gonna have to come up,
Come up
because
here. We need this
they,
on
if,
the record out.
the question could be pertinent to somebody that's listening out there on cable TV, and we can't answer, they can't hear you. Okay, your name again?
Tracy McDonald, 9050 Pontiac Lake Road. These special assessments, they just seem to never go away. And like I saw the OCC, it shows that it was voted for. I never saw any notice to vote to put OCC.
I'll let the assessor, that's a larger animal there to deal with. Dave, you want to address that?
Did you have another question?
Well, I just wonder, you know, it's like the library, like you said, there's several, there's 3 for the library. I just. 4. A for sale sign would be pretty cheap. We could just slap that right on there.
Okay, the only way I'm going to say this is why it's so important. It's so important that when these millages come up, okay, you get your butt down there and you vote the way you want it to go, okay? Whatever the way it is, use your constitutional right that you have. I will tell you that every board member here, time and time and time and time again, will hear from people that will sit there and say, well, I didn't want that. Did you vote? Well, you know, I had to go to the dentist that day, or whatever, my elbow was sore. And that's the problem, lethargy, where they need to get out and they need to vote. And I sympathize and I empathize with you.
Is there any way to find out, like, how many people voted, or?
Yes,
is
all
it-
that information is on Oakland County.
Yeah, it'd be on
Okay.
the Oakland County website.
Everything.
Okay.
You go to Oakland County elections and you can search through there.
I think it should be like a certain percentage or something
Yeah,
like that.
they can break it down. And you can also contact Dave Woodward from Oakland County. He's Oakland County Chair, and he'd be able to answer that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Oakland County. Dave Woodward.
Okay, David?
Yeah, I think that kind of resolved itself, but the elections, there's a process for that. Ballot language has to be submitted, has to be approved, it's on the ballot. It is the process, and voting is very accessible to, with the changes from absentee to early voting to voting same day. So these millages, it's the same thing that they, and I guess my advice is just to try to pay attention in the community. It's good that, people, use social media to get the word out as opposed to, misinformation. So I'm glad that people came in. I'm glad I had a few phone calls. I think I said 3, and, to address these issues.
It's really important, again, that you find out the proper information. And again, we only do what's statutorily required of us. So sometimes I used to argue about some of the language, but I was told more than one time, and not by Dave, that it cannot change.
It's statutorily required. So, but the motion or the resolution in front of you, 25028, we're requesting a reduction in the millage from 10.1536 to 10.0818.
Which is really a nice thing to say, because it means somebody's taxes are going down, okay, to some degree, okay?
So I just have one quick comment. Thank you for your explanation, I appreciate it, and I hope that helps a lot of residents that listen tonight. And I'm such an advocate of asking the right person the question. So if residents can reach out to our assessor and get the right information, or a board member, instead of fuel the fire on social media with misinformation, that always helps. My only request would be in the future, I'm well aware that we have to put statutory language on these kind of notices, but there's about, a quarter of the page left. Can we not put in a short paragraph, just layman's terms explanation? I think that would help our residents better understand the statutory language that can be confusing. So I would just ask if you could try in the future to, just break it down and make it as easily understandable.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead. This young lady back here, you're gonna have to come up.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for clarifying that, because obviously, again, it was a misunderstanding. When you read it, it's, again, the ad valorem and all these versus the operating, it's very confusing, because it does make you question, is this a transfer of a tax to something else? So that's kind of what happened in my mind, is that I just thought, oh, they're transferring it to this other tax, because it talked about the increase for the revenue. So anyway, now that I've officially said I don't want this, I, again, appreciate the explanation, so I could change my opinion, because, again, I did kind of say I wasn't 100% sure, so I do appreciate the clarification. I just wanted to say that.
I'm gonna tell anybody here in this room or that's out there watching, anytime you have a question, jot them down, call assessing. They can clarify all that muddiness and get rid of the fantasy that goes along with.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, yes, Mr. Roman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 25-028, Truth in Taxation.
Support.
Motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let's have it. We'll catch.
Just a comment.
What?
Just for everybody back here.
Can you come back up to the mic, Pete?
Yeah, if you call.
Got to announce your name again, sir.
Please announce your name.
Piccionato, if you go, the state, there is a proposal in the state to reduce senior taxes. There's a bill being proposed. You may want to go look it up and read it, and maybe contact your congressman, but your state legislature. But there is a bill being proposed.
There is.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, next item, this will be for the police department, request to approve computer purchase for the police department. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. As you know, within the past several months.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, Dave. Within the past several months, Deputy Supervisor Pergamont looked into new computers in reference to Windows 11 and all of our computers are Windows 10, and they're not being supported after the October of 2025. So after she did her research, I contacted VC3 to ask about our computers, and our computers are unfortunately in the same predicament as the township computers. So we had purchased 3 computers that had broken down in 24 and 25, so we don't need to replace them, but we have 15 computers that need to be upgraded to match the Windows 11. And the price tag for the 13 computers and the 2 upgrade computers is $13,748.85.
I know that she's done a lot of work all the way across the board, and I know that you don't necessarily come here unless you absolutely need something, as your stuff's getting old, so.
Absolutely.
And you got to move forward with it. I understand that. Is there any questions from the board at this time?
No, I'd like to make a motion or request to approve the computer purchases for the police department due to their existing condition that the chief just spoke about. They're becoming obsolete, and we need to move forward with this purchase.
13,000.
Listed number?
I didn't get it. $13,748.85.
That's in the form of a motion. Look for support.
Support.
Support from Andy Voorhees. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Get with Trish. Thank you. Next item is a FOIA appeal request for PD Ernest G. Parker. There's information that was being requested for this particular individual. The cost for the FOIAs is based on the lowest paid but qualified individual to retrieve those records, and the cost came up to 100 and
Front page.
$131. Yeah, 130 some, there we go. $131.63, based on the hourly wages, and that, everybody has to remember that an hourly wage, whenever you calculate that, is everything. It's not just the person, the money the person is getting paid by the hour. It's the Social Security, it's the insurance, it's the benefits, it's the vacation, it's all of the above. So what their actual number is and what the reality number is, often far apart. So based on that.
This is an appeal. so you
Yes,
should
I
see
know
if he's
that.
here.
Yeah. So this is an appeal.
Oh.
No, is he here? He has an opportunity
He
to
has an
speak.
opportunity to speak, but I do not believe he's here.
He's out of the country.
You chase him out?
No, sir.
Oh, okay, I was just curious. Okay, all right. Anyways, a little levity there. But at any rate, since the person in question is not here to appeal, I make a motion to deny.
I'll support that.
Well, you are considering his appeal, whether he's here or not.
Correct. I did,
And you.
and I denied it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we supposed to have discussion? Is that what you're?
Well, I mean, if you've reviewed the material and you're prepared
I
to
have.
proceed, that's fine, but I don't want you to deny just because he's not here.
No,
I don't think that's the comment. I think Supervisor Kowal articulated in a well-fashioned, organized, small
I just have a
speech.
couple-
Is there any reason? Why is he appealing?
Because he doesn't want to spend
Oh, he
$130.
thinks it's too much money.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay.
And as Supervisor Kowal spoke about, that's the lowest paid in the police department's personnel, which means their, all their benefits, kind of like the drunk driving cost recovery, same principle. So
We don't get a lot of these, correct?
Occasionally. I think we had one last year.
Request or,
Yes.
okay.
No, we have lots of requests. This is an appeal.
No, it's
Right,
an
right,
appeal.
so but how many?
Yes, I beg your pardon.
I've never, since
We
I've
have
been
one
here,
other appeal here.
it's
one.
been before me.
That's one.
That's 5 years.
While you were here.
There was. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
one. Okay, I made my recommendation to the board for denial. Looking for support?
I support it already.
Your support, all in favor of denial?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, denied. Moving on. First reading of ordinance to amend Chapter 32 of solicitation to regulate the location and manner of soliciting in public streets. That essentially is, we are bound by law to allow people to do certain solicitation, the guys out there handing things out, or the knights handing out Tootsie Rolls and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Chief is very, very concerned about public safety. Anyone want to make any comments and kind of touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, so we used to have these at Tigerine and Elizabeth Lake Road and Knoxville and Elizabeth Lake Road when they were three-way stops. They've turned into roundabouts, which makes it a lot less safe to do solicitation there. So I found another three-way stop, which is at White Lake and Ormond, where they could, in a more, because it's not ever safe, but it's safer to do it there. On that, until that turns into a roundabout, and then we'll figure something out.
Okay, very good. I would like to make a motion to move to second reading the ordinance to amend Chapter 32 solicitation to the regulate the location and manner of solicitation in public streets. I make that as a formal motion. Looking for support. I have a second. Roll call vote.
Supervisor Kowal?
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees?
Yes.
Treasurer Roman?
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes. Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles?
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, item I is a request to approve Township of White Lake Public Facilities naming rights policy. We have had an individual in our community who is very interested in donating a considerable donation towards the new public safety building. His only linchpin was that his name be placed upon it as a grantor, as a benefactor of the community, and therefore, after having a conversation with council, a draft of a policy had to be put in place. So at this time, I welcome questions or comments or interaction, whatever have you, regarding this particular policy. Any comments from the board?
Is this a first then? So we don't have one until?
No.
I see.
No, we do not. And I was told that we had to have one.
Okay. Hey, I had a question. So if someone gives money to the police department, does that mean the whole department has their name on it? Or would we like name a room after them or just put up a plaque or? How
That would
does
be
this
up
all
for,
work?
if a policy is set forth and it has to come in front of the board, I would assume that the policy would state it's up to you if those naming rights are acceptable or not.
It does say that in here.
Yeah, so you couldn't just randomly come in and say, hey, I'm going to put my name on that sound booth over there. So from now on for always, it's going to say the Rick Kowal sound booth, and I'll get neon behind it that flashes. Okay.
So I have a comment.
Yes.
Okay.
Trustee Smith.
I probably have several comments as we discuss this. I couldn't be more opposed to this policy being put in place. I think it's a sticky, icky can of worms that we don't need to open. $250,000, my understanding, is what's being proposed to name the public safety building after somebody. That is not a considerable amount to a multi-million-dollar building. I think that our public safety building needs to be as independent and as clear as possible. It just needs to be White Lake Public Safety. If they want to donate something like a bench or towards an amphitheater or a room or something like that, I think the board could consider that. I don't like how this looks to the public. I don't want to appear to the public that we can be bought or purchased. I don't want the assumption of backroom deals happening or promises made to people. I don't even want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. It's not necessary. I don't know of any other community that does it. I don't think that we need to do it. I think, like I got comments from residents of why did a car dealership show up to a crime scene? I think that White Lake Police Department should be as independent as they possibly can. And then where do you draw the line? What amount of money gets you what? What person gets what? I just think it's unnecessary. We don't need to do it. I couldn't be more against this policy. I understand that council was asked to draft this policy when somebody wanted to do this, but there's other ways that they can do it. They don't need to put their name on a government building. It should be clear, White Lake Township, Township Hall, White Lake Police and Fire, that's it.
Okay.
Liz, are you saying you don't even want a policy then?
I don't
Or you're
think
just
that the
opposed
policy is
to-
necessary because I don't think we should be naming things. I don't think that someone should offer money to put their name on something. If they want to donate, like a bench, or they want to donate a plaque, or the board could consider those type of things. But I just think it opens a can of worms to start promising people to put their name on things for a certain dollar amount on a government building. I think it's wrong, and I'm totally opposed to it.
Thanks for that
Okay, thank you.
clarification.
Mr. Ruggles?
Yeah, Lisa, did you draft this?
I did.
You did? Do you do lots of these types of policies for other communities?
This is the first that I have drafted, but there are drafts that my firm has drafted for other communities that I used as a starting point.
I'm just trying to figure out if selling the name rights to township buildings is commonplace.
It is
Like-
not uncommon.
Comerica Park?
It is not uncommon.
But it's not common.
I got a question.
It's not
I
common.
was trying not to have everybody talking at once. Okay, Mr. Ruggles, you have the floor.
Yeah.
Can I just clarify one point? The reason for the policy is to ensure that these types of offers are treated fairly and equally, and you maintain control. Without a policy, if it would be way more difficult and questionable for you to be entering into contracts without a policy that you could look at and ensure it meets the requirements and understand your parameters.
But you
So
could-
that's why the policy is.
You could also say that it's the beginning of the normalization of this type of behavior. So if you wanted to continue to conduct this type of business, this would be something that's necessary. But I'm just not familiar with it, so that's why I asked.
I was just gonna ask, the FBI is named after J. Edgar Hoover, so
Yep,
there's an example.
But
And he was an employee.
maybe that was in honor of somebody. He
Well,
didn't purchase the building.
Can we make it after Dan Keller when he leaves?
Who decides, though? Who
Absolutely
decides?
not.
Who decides if we like Dan or not?
Well, you guys do.
That was a
I
question.
think it's just a policy right now, just to.
Whose name would be?
But I understand what you're saying, Anthony, but I don't think that's apples to apples. I think that's honoring somebody that has maybe dedicated 40 years of their career to something. Is not somebody offering money to put their name on a government building. It's
The person
different.
that's offering the money,
We're gonna touch on that in
the
a
person
minute.
that offering the money, in about 3 years, have dedicated 50 years to White Lake service on the Civil Service Board.
But then this board could choose to honor them. This board shouldn't be
I mean,
choosing
yeah,
them to
we could do it
buy
we could do it for free, and I'm
a
sure.
spot on a
I'm sure he
government
would love
building
that.
for
I'm sure he
$250,000
would
on a
love that.
multi-million dollar
I
building.
don't disagree with you. I'm sure he would love that, to have his name on there for free.
I'm just curious, so if 10 other people out there want to give us money,
I'm not disagreeing,
can we
I'm
put
saying.
all 10 names on the building?
That's exactly the
Yeah.
point.
That's the sticky icky
And the
wicket.
car.
This,
Yeah.
I guess this
And
gives
the
the
cars,
board that
too.
right.
And then we could put them on the cars.
okay, Lisa,
Next thing you know, it's Mike Roman's boardroom.
your lawyer, speak up.
Yeah, or Scott Ruggles, who,
Scott's hallways
we
over
could
there.
have 5 names up there.
Yeah, okay, it gives you, the township, the ability to police this, but here's a very interesting little caveat that I want to read. The proposed naming rights purchaser must support the image and values of the township of White Lake and the community. In general, the following industries and products are not eligible for naming rights: religious and political organizations, or companies whose businesses is substantially derived from the sale of alcohol, tobacco, firearms, pornography, gambling, and lewd and lascivious behavior. That's a big block there that says that we can pick people of moral character who feel they want to be a benefactor to the community for whatever purpose. You may have someone that wants to come in that wants to pay for the canopy at the library that has not been built yet at the front door. They may be a benefactor and leave, $300,000 or $400,000 for some construction projects at the library, and they might put their name on it. I personally don't have a problem with that. That's their generosity to the community. I mean, there are limits and everything, and you have to be careful, would have to come before the board and be approved.
Well, I have a question for you with that thought. What if
Yes.
somebody had $1 million and they wanted to make it a blind contribution in the name of Andrea's father, for example, that served on this board for 38 years? Would that, I mean, that happens, doesn't it, Lisa?
You know, I mean, I could try to create a list for you of communities that have similar policies, if that would ease concerns.
Not really.
And then you could see how it's implemented in those communities, just to,
You know what they say about good deeds? You know, they're not done for recognition. Like, how about Gene Ryerson? He didn't ask for a name anywhere, and he gave us a whole heck of a lot, you know, so.
So I would ask if this policy, I'll be voting no on this policy, but if it does go forward, I would like it to add that that person never appears on any board member's campaign finance.
I don't know how you can do that.
You can reject a donation. You do not have to accept a campaign finance donation. So if this
Are you
board,
restricting it for future
That's a
people down
slippery
the road?
slope.
this whole thing's a
No,
slippery
I'm saying for
slope.
future people down the road, not saying he's gonna live forever, that person.
I'm just saying for anybody.
Yeah.
If this policy goes forward, that I think a caveat should be that they cannot donate to board members.
I think it's a slippery slope, but.
So question, would this be, what would be bigger? White Lake Township or this Andrew Voorhees Hall? What would be bigger? To me, that should be Township. It should be like, like White Lake Township should be 27 font. If the Andrew Voorhees name should be 12 font. I don't want it to be seen from the road, but so with that being said, when would this name appear? As soon as with the building up, before or after he dies? Or after I die, I'll say, sorry.
Well, we don't know when that's gonna happen, hopefully for a long time.
I mean, I would rather do, I'm sure this person wants to be there for it. But kind of like going back to your J. Edgar Hoover, they did it after.
Yeah. I don't know what it entitles them.
I don't either. I should mention, my comments have absolutely nothing to do with the gentleman that has offered the
yeah.
money already. It's not personal. I don't know him. I have zero relationship with him. This isn't anything to do with the person that's offered money already. But I'm just so concerned about promises made. There's been a history already that, promises were made to name a park that didn't come before this board. And the board found out on Facebook what that park was named. I don't like the era of promises or deals made, and then this board finds out afterwards. I don't want to be any part of that.
If you go to the library, where the flags are, many of us gave contributions for that, and they put like a plaque up right there.
Like they have a leaf tree, that's different. They're
Yeah,
donating.
That's what I'm saying is, I would rather have something like that where you'd have a plaque that says so-and-so donated money, you put it on the wall.
Right.
There's no naming, but you're giving recognition.
Yeah, and I would be okay with that too.
And, but for that, you don't need a naming policy, do you?
no, not a donation, essentially.
I agree, Mike, like if we want to have
A
bricks or
recognition
leaves.
wall.
If we want to have bricks
Lisa
or
hit it.
leaves or something like that, that would be more appropriate. But naming an entire building, I don't think is appropriate. I think the police and fire should remain as neutral as possible.
I still say once Chief Keller moves on, we name it after him.
So the policy, the way it was drafted was to try to quell some of the concerns so that if the implementation part of this is that you all approve a list of buildings, parks, whatever, that can be considered under the naming policy. So the supervisor, under the way I have it drafted right now, is a supervisor would come up with this list, it would come to you, you would decide whether that was an appropriate list. And you can, at that point, determine where it's appropriate, where it isn't appropriate. And I understand, Trustee Smith, your opinion is it's not appropriate anywhere, but that's just one section of the policy where you have that control right out the gate. Then the next control would be that if somebody were to approach The township, the supervisor would actually work out the terms of an agreement that would address the size of the sign and the colors and whatever regulations are deemed appropriate for that particular naming right. That agreement would then come to the board for your consideration.
But I think, and again, if this policy was to move forward, I think that portion needs to come before the whole board. I think that the whole board needs to decide how big something is, what might be named that, not like someone far down the pike thinking that this is happening and then coming to the board with a difference of, the board members have a difference of opinion.
You have a good point there, because by putting this policy in, it goes right back to the Stanley Park. And so then I know that's probably what you're referring to, then that.
That's incorrect.
Well,
That's in the purchase agreement.
Okay, purchase agreement, but then that would stop that moving forward. I'm not saying anybody purposely did that, but having that policy.
You wouldn't sell it to us
might-
unless we did.
I understand that, but
But
by
that didn't come
by
for the
doing that,
board, and it probably should have come to the board.
by having a policy that could stop for future boards, not just this board, but future boards.
Does this have to be decided tonight? Is there a deadline? Because honestly, I would love it for Lisa, sorry, Lisa, I'm giving you more work, to see what other communities did. We know what the library has done.
Make a motion to table.
Postpone.
Postpone.
I'll support.
Motion, support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Postpone. Okay.
Want to comment? Do you want to take comment?
Go ahead.
No, a real quick question. In this naming, right, I tried to read the whole thing and try to understand it, but where do we, as the citizens, get to make an input that
Crack
we
your
agree?
checkbook open. Okay.
No, to agree to the naming rights, that whatever you guys would choose, don't we have a right?
This is public comment. This is why we're talking about.
Oh, I know, but I'm talking about when the naming comes up, are we gonna have a right to say?
This policy would not allow for residents to have input.
Yeah.
The board would make that decision. Yes, sir. Yeah, sorry.
Jim Cups, Cooley Lake Road. First of all, Cooley Lake Road was named after a farmer who owned all of Cooley Lake, well, that area. All your roads are that, you go anywhere in any state, people that donate a lot of money. I have no if this guy's given $250,000, I have no problem taking the percentage and saying a room, if that, a room after him or something like that. I came from Novi before I came to White Lake. We had many times where people donated, and you have Hess Park here, that was donated by the Hesses. You got a lot of places where donated, and they kept their names on it. So if some guy's gonna pay, and you're just mentioning $250,000. I'm saying if you took a room or a part and said, okay, this is for this guy, that takes away from the taxpayers. And I'm willing to, if he puts up $250,000, that helps us.
I said maybe a room, a bench,
Yeah,
something
something
different
small.
like that, but not the entire building.
First of all, I bought and I love the cops. I bought the cops twice lunches.
That's nice of you.
I'd like a little bench in the.
Where does it stop and where does it end?
But no,
See, where does it start and stop?
I'll tell you right now, I golf, I'm on a league, I've told my wife, I die. Buy a little bench there, and have my name on it, because I watch by, boy, I want to do that, So I understand what this guy's doing, and two, with the money, if he's putting up a portion, and, I mean, you go any city, any country, any state, there's people put up a lot of money and got something, got their name on it before they die, and that's their way in saying, hey, thank you, God, But I have no problem. If he's gonna put up, if it's $250,000, this thing's costing us millions, put his name on the bathroom. Someplace where for $250,000, I'm willing to give his name on the bathroom. This is Joe Blow's bathroom or whatever.
If you
But
read through this policy, sir, this policy was the naming rights to entire building was what was proposed. So I agree, like a bench is something more
Right.
appropriate, a room, something
Something
like
small.
that.
Right.
Could work.
I agree. Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, no, you haven't got one. Teresa Johnson, 9105 Steep Hollow Drive. Where's all the money gonna go that you're going to collect if you go ahead with this?
It'll go towards
It would
the
help go
purpose of
towards
the
the
building.
building,
Help
cost
go
of the
towards
building.
Cost of the
So
building.
at this point, yeah, help with the debt service.
Well, why don't you, I think a wall or a plaque or something like that may be adequate, but is it going to be like if you have more money, you have a bigger spot?
I think the intention here, of this is because the person, this particular person has been a longtime resident of White Lake, has a history of philanthropy. There are dormitories named after him at.
Athletics, he's personally doing 13 million.
Yeah, he does this because he wants to do something for the community. He wants to be remembered for doing the right things. And he feels that this would be a contribution that would help financially, which it would, towards the cost of the building. Wherever those exact dollars go, they would just go to the cost of that particular building. And that cost is then not on the taxpayer, okay? So, I mean, when someone wants to do it, people are benefactors of all types of different things, and with reasonable, regulatory considerations, whether it's these guidelines or something that's a version thereof. I mean, if somebody wants to put their money up there and, somebody comes along, it's just benefiting the township as a whole.
Well, I have
That's all
no
it's
problem
doing.
with that. I have a problem with, if I'm paying for a building, regardless of the building, and all the residents of White Lake contribute to that with our taxes, putting somebody's name somewhere, a small little wall or a brick, I don't care, a bench, whatever. I'm not opposed to that. But to put somebody's name somewhere that's going to be in a spotlight, I have a problem with that.
And I'm sure he would.
And I'm sure,
He would be
and I
one.
don't disagree with you, Liz, though you and I don't agree on many things. I agree with you here in reference to kickbacks and paybacks. I wouldn't trust that with a
Yeah.
10-foot pole.
And that's where the policy comes in, and I agree with the policy.
And you think that policy is going to matter much?
Yeah,
Do you want
I
to
believe
go to
it
the
will
state and
outline
look
it,
at
'cause if
that?
you
Because
violate,
that doesn't,
you're in
I
violation of
disagree.
it.
I disagree, sorry,
Thank
But
you.
I'm sure he would agree to to do what you're saying. I don't disagree on that. Bring his price down.
Okey doke. We're going to move on. That has been postponed. And we're going to go to request to approve engagement letter. Mr. Roman.
Yeah, so our new bond that we took out for our civic center, because of the type of bond it is, we are limited as to the amount of investment income we can make off that money. Well, it sits in our construction fund. And so there's a process that has to be gone through to actually audit how much it's making, and then comparing that to how much we pay on the interest on the debt itself. And I did bid it out, and the best bid we got was this $2,000. And so today, I'm asking for the board to approve this engagement letter, that it be signed. It's already been reviewed by Lisa's law firm. So with that, I'll make that in the form of a motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And who is signing this document? I am.
Yeah, because it's a legal document, I think you should.
Authorize the supervisor to sign the document.
Authorize, yep.
Authorize, amend. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Keep the lawyer happy. Okay, the next one's a big fat one. Nice, easy reading. This is the opioid settlement funds from Purdue and Pharma LP and Sackler family, and authorizing acceptance of additional opioid-related settlements and plans. Lisa, kind of tell them what your thought process was on this.
Well, as you know, the township has previously opted into these settlement funds for the pharmaceutical companies, the class action lawsuits. And then this resolution essentially accepts funds from this, it would be the Purdue Pharma LP and Sackler family. So it would authorize your acceptance of the settlement funds, and it would be treated the same way all the other opioid funds are treated, and that is to assist treatment facilities and trying to combat opioid addiction.
And also any additional opioid-related settlement plans.
The resolution authorizes the opting into other opioid settlements without having to come to the board.
So it just saves time and energy. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, I'd like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 25-029, accepting opioid litigation settlements funds from Purdue Pharma, LP, and Sackler Family, and authorize acceptance of additional opioid-related settlement and plans in the future. That's in the form of a motion.
Support.
I have motion, I have support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. Next item, Mr. Roman.
Yeah, so, we've got our first bond payment coming up in September. It's interest only. It's almost $600,000. Anthony and I and Rick met, along with our finance director, Elaine, and, Chief Keller. Dave, I can't remember, were you in that one? Dave?
Yes.
Yeah, Dave was in there too. Anyway, money freed up because of that admin fee, we wanted to use towards future bond payments. And then, as far as the remainder of the bond payments in the future, we looked at, our architects came up with square footage of each building, to dictate how much everyone would have to pay. And I'm gonna kind of pass this out to you guys to look at. The results are on this sheet. When all is said and done, it comes down to an unfunded balance percentage in the bottom, which is basically, that's our bond amount, was the 29 million. And it's got percentages as to how much each fund needs to come up with. So what we're asking for is for the board to approve any bond payments in excess of the money freed up by the admin fee be split between the funds based on the percentages that are on the memo.
Okay, questions, comments? Minute to digest. Mike, you did a lot of work on this, and Elaine, I really like to thank you for your many nights that you were wandering around trying to figure out how to formulate this, and it kind of seemed to come together, and it's all within the means of budget, so.
Yeah, and we decided in the end, trying to keep the cost down for public safety. We allocated the site work all to the general fund.
Which is almost $7 million.
That was almost 7 million.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, questions, comments?
And Elaine was good with these numbers. I know the chiefs have bought into it. So, again, we tried to keep it as affordable as we could, and it's the best plan I've seen, so.
Actually, I'm real happy with the way that it worked out, numbers-wise and everything. It doesn't strain anybody, so.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Civic Center bond debt allocation and payment plan as presented by Treasurer Roman tonight.
I will support that. Roll call vote.
Trustee Voorhees,
Yes.
Treasurer Roman,
Yes.
Supervisor Colwell.
Yes.
Trustee Ruggles,
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes. Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Carries. The reason that we really wanted to do this is that we wanted to have it memorialized that this is the intention of this board. Now, as we all know, anything can be changed in the future, but this way, any future boards can look back and see that there was a formulation, it was done, if they stick to it, it works, and it will ultimately retire the debt. So that was the most important thing to have memorialized by this action. So you had a comment or?
No, real quick, Mike, would it be better for me to come to see you to understand this? I got the page with the percentage.
Yeah, you need to come
but
in.
I don't want to waste the time here, but I just like to understand this.
Just come in and
So I
see.
like to come in and see you and go and understand these percentages.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, FYI update on the building. We are moving forward. As you can tell, there's a lot of steel being swung around out there. They are supposed to, hopefully, tomorrow we'll have an update in the morning regarding a lot of the matters in our normal construction program meeting that we have with the contractor. and we'll get a more current update because there's a period of about 6 weeks where the steel goes up, they said, at that point. That's going to take a little while. And of course, we've had a few weather days here. They don't like playing on steel in a lightning storm. I can't imagine why. And then the Township Hall, they're polishing the lower floor, doing the honing of the concrete down there, and have already started putting the fire suppression system in, doing everything they can do on that particular level, at the lower level, keep things moving forward until the truss and framing work gets here, which I believe is supposed to be here in September. It was supposed to be here in August. I think it was supposed to be here in July. So unfortunately, it's taking a little bit longer, but I believe the bugs have been ironed out, so it'll be forthcoming. Roof panels should start going on the public safety building, I would think probably sometime next week. By Thanksgiving, that building will have a completely recognizable outside shell. There'll be brick going up and they'll be going to town. So it's definitely going to be coming along. And by that time, we should have a portion of our endoskeletons system up on the framing of the deck. They're going to pour the concrete deck. Was that going to be this week, Mike, wasn't it?
I think it is.
Was this week? On the main building. Anything else?
So,
Go ahead.
what's that?
You want to add any?
No, I mean, we're just kind of waiting on the wood to show up for the Township Hall. And, once that gets here, that building will start moving as well. The structure, as you've seen, the public safety building has a steel structure. The Township Hall, the main floor, will have a wood structure supporting the roof. So we're waiting on that wood to get here. Boy, if I knew we'd have as many little headaches as we are having with wood, would have hoped this board would have voted for steel.
Absolutely.
Hindsight.
But Pete, to your helpers, do you do any glue lamp work?
We built stairs, we had big stringers and all that.
Yeah, we're having some coordination issues, but you know what? It'll get there. It's the nature of the beast. And Stanley Park, Sean?
Yeah, Stanley Park, we just approved pay app number 4. They're chugging along. Actually, Steve Woodard's here, and he lives across the lake from the new pier that went in. Hopefully you all had a chance to see the slideshow. Redstone's going to continue to periodically fly the site, both buildings, the site work and Stanley Park. Obviously, there are a lot of leaves in the trees right now, so you can't see a ton down in the park. But when you get your periodic updates and we post those things and share those things out with neighbors, there'll be some drone footage that continues to come in, which is pretty cool. The paving is curbing and paving is supposed to start here curbing in September, I think, and then paving at least portions of the site this fall. The one thing I think is important to mention to you guys too is the underfloor drain. If you remember, we had a lot of heartburn over the unexpected costs associated with that. Every time we go there to meet, we ask them, because they monitor periodically the connection of the catch basin. The water has not stopped. We've had some pretty hot, dry stretches. The water has not stopped the entire time since that's been in. So I think money, it was unexpected, but money well spent in that it is continuing to do what it was designed to do. And again, it's just a constant flow through that floor system.
Talking public safety building.
Yeah, sorry, public safety floor. Yep. So as much as we don't want to do it, it's a good thing, I think, that we did. So
We're making good progress on the inside as well. It's a little slower because we can't pick everything out yet. But what we are able to pick out, we've selected, and it's coming along very nicely.
Yep. Just got to get a few other things hammered out and we'll keep moving forward. But again, it's for the public, it's been a little tough to see until the last couple of weeks when the steel's coming up. And as soon as it starts to move around a little bit more, it'll really start to take its form. So we're moving in the right direction. Okay, moving on, trustee comments. Trustee Smith.
Okay, thank you. I want to circle back to pickleball because I have big advocate for pickleball. I passed the Commerce courts at 8 o'clock yesterday, Monday evening, and they were packed. So The gentleman that was here for public comment, I do hope that we are able to accomplish pickleball courts, hopefully at Stanley Park. We used the term multi-use court. That was the best term we could come up with for grant purposes. So just to clear up, that for him that's why it's the term is multi-purpose court, but we hope that they're pickleball courts, at least I do. And I want to thank him for volunteering to help. We might tap on him. And then the other gentleman, I was just trying to get out in the beginning, and I apologize, we're not supposed to communicate and talk back and forth during public comment, but we are not to comment on the ongoing investigation, but we do have a couple of public statements on our website. If you haven't had a chance to read those, that might give you some more information. So they're posted there. And then the summer reading program was a great success this past week at the library. They had food trucks and inflatables and lots of celebrating. So that was great. And then I want to give a shout out to the 7th annual Walk for Red. They're coming through White Lake again this year, September 4th, I believe. That is the fireman that you'll see walk down M59 in his full gear. They're raising money for firefighters that are actively battling cancer. And then our firefighters will join him White Lake is always his first stop, and he goes all the way to Cascade, Michigan. And then our firefighters will walk him to the Highland border and so on as he goes. Fire department is also having their open house on September 14th. That's a ton of fun, so I encourage all residents to come out there. It's a totally free event, and it's well worth your Sunday afternoon. From 12 to 3, and I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Andrea Voorhees.
Thank you. Earlier this month, I was able to attend our church's 190th anniversary. I belong to White Lake Presbyterian Church. We are definitely the oldest church in White Lake Township. We had a grand time. Thanks for those of the people, my friends that were able to come. It was a great time. I was able to give a little history of our church. I've been involved with that church I entered it when I was 10 days old, my mom and I figured out. So I've been there my entire life. My goal is to be around to do that same history again in 10 more years, when it will be 200 years. September 6th and 7th, and I'm going to correct you, Liz, that the 5th, is the day that the Walk for Red will be.
Thank you. Did I say that?
It's a Friday, will be at the fire department, because the weekend of the 6th and the 7th, and that's why I knew you're wrong. So I apologize, Liz, if I wanted you to be correct.
Thank you for letting the residents know.
The 6th and the 7th is the Fisk Farm Fall Festival, White Lake's premier and only White Lake Festival. I'm going to challenge my board members like I have in the past to come be present, help Bob and I in the beverage tent, and be present at our only festival in White Lake Township that supports the White Lake Historical Society. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ruggles.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Short and sweet. The Planning Commission will be meeting this Thursday for our annual review and discussion of the capital improvement plan. I apologize for not being here last month, and it's good to see the new fire chief at the meeting. That's all. Thank you.
Mr. Noble.
Just like to welcome the new fire chief. Excited to see what you're going to bring to White Lake Township. I know you come from Farmington Hills, correct me if I'm wrong, Florida, with a 1,000-person department, deputy chief in Delta, 3 townships, Springfield, and now White Lake. So your experience is we're going to be really welcomed here. And also I'd like to welcome. We welcomed our new HR person, Robin Myers, who's been doing a great job so far. And Ruggles is having a melon. You're
the Melon
yeah,
Fest.
you're having a melon fest this month, aren't you?
That's happening.
It's
The Ruggles
delicious.
Farm. That's it.
Okay. Mr. Roman.
I also wanted to welcome Dave. Welcome aboard as our new fire chief. Looking forward to working with you. Just wanted to let everyone know, I heard from Oakland County recently, and beginning in 2026, they are completely changing the dog tag procedure. They are going to be using a third party now, beginning in 2026. So you will be on your own. You will be applying for dog licenses online. I don't have a procedure manual yet to pass on to you all when I get it. We'll get it onto the township website. But, yeah, so future dog tags, beginning 2026, are all gonna be done through the mail. I wish Oakland County the best.
That's real questionable.
Yeah, and thank you all for coming today to the board meeting. We appreciate. That's all I had, Rick.
Thank you. I had the honor and privilege of attending and speaking at the Youth Police Department Academy. And I will tell you, the academies that we have for the kids, police and fire, but this particular one, the police one, it's something that I really, really like to do, and I really like to try to inspire the kids so that they realize they're making a difference in the community by engaging in these types of organizations that we have. I would highly recommend anyone who is interested in that program to contact the police department and talk about that. I don't know if we have any openings left in our adult academy or not. We do. That is when, Chief?
It starts in early September.
Early September. You will get 7 weeks of
10 weeks.
10 weeks, I'm sorry, of a very comprehensive training. And I think that anyone that has any thought process as to how police, fire, general township, how it all works, I really think it's a great exposure, because then you get a better understanding of what makes things tick. And not only that, it allows you to develop a personal relationship with persons at the township so that you now know them more on a more human level and get to understand the interaction. And they've been doing it for how many years now?
25 at least.
25 years, so that's a huge deal. So I really recommend that you contact Amy
Yes.
at the police department, and she will try to get you into that slot. Dave, I'd like to welcome you here. Appreciate you coming in. It was good swearing you in on that Friday. I want to thank the clerk for making that available on that Friday afternoon. It was good to get that done.
You're still not out. You're gonna have to do it in front of the board process.
Yeah, we'll give you a formal dog and pony show. Okay, so, but it's real good to have you here, and hopefully it'll be, fair winds, and we'll make it all come together. And you picked a good time to come into a new building, so, but you're gonna have a hell of a time finding your office. I know that when you first get in there, so. So I certainly appreciate that. On a more personal note, I am now in 24-hour countdown to be a grandfather for the third time. Yes, that's supposed to be due the 21st, so a little boy. So hopefully my daughter, who is over in the Grand Rapids area, is probably twitching right now with me talking about her, my daughter Erica. But nonetheless, I'm very proud of her and my other daughter. But this is her first child, so I'm just waiting, because I'm gonna get the hell out of here when the baby's born for a couple days. So it's a good thing, but it's all good. So with that, I say thank you all for being here tonight. I want to thank the people that were here earlier that left for coming, first of all, because it's usually just the earlies. Okay, it's usually just them. Okay.
Not to minimize your importance.
Not to minimize your importance, by no means, If you weren't here, we'd be worried. We'd be sending a unit out looking for you. I got news for you, okay? So it's really important. Appreciate you being here, Dave. And, we're trying to be good stewards of the park and trying to do all the right things for the community so that we can try to preserve a little bit of our little heaven on earth here, so to speak, even though some people think it's crazy here. If you don't believe that, drive 59. Okay, with that, I'll say good night. God bless. Motion to adjourn.
Motion, second.
Support.
All in favor? Aye. Adjourned.